Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the JLJ podcast. It's your boy, Jack Ramry. I'm here with my man, JVK.
How's it going, guys?
Also here with Matho.
How's it going, guys?
And we've got a very big episode today. We're going to review the AFL's All-Australian team. A lot of controversial picks in there. And then we'll be previewing the finals games, which we're all looking forward to. So first, boys, what are our thoughts on the All-Australian team?
I think it's a absolute joke of a selection. Obviously, everyone was annoyed with the three A-grade midfielders in the forward line. Yeah, so I think that's just the biggest talking point. I think we'll go through. Should we go through each line and just discuss who should have been there? So yeah, we'll go through that. VK, take us through the full back line.
Yeah, so we had nothing much really to talk about full back line. They all deserved it. Shepherd, Andrews, Ryan. I think all three of us pretty much had all three of them in our mid-season All-Australian, and pretty much every single person accepted them for being in there. Maybe a few people didn't want Shepherd in there, but you can't complain with Shepherd being there. So you guys reckon that's pretty fair enough with those back three?
Yeah, as I've said, throughout the whole year, Brad Shepherd's the best small defender in the competition for being able to defend wise. So, and also Ryan just gets a lot of the balls. So yeah, happy with that.
Definitely.
Half-back.
The half-backs,
Take us through half-back.
I thought you'd do it.
Yeah, all right. Nick Haynes, Darcy Moore, and a rather ambitious selection of Darcy Byrne-Jones on the half-back flank.
So bad. He's not even Port's best defender, let alone making the All-Australian team. Ridley, Maynard, Daniel starting, and Wiedering all deserve that spot 2 times the amount that he did. He had a great year. And I'm putting this out, if Port finished 6th or 7th, there is no way, and he had the exact same season, there is no way he makes that team. No way.
No, at all. I agree. I think we can all agree with Nick Haynes and Darcy Moore being in the side, arguably some of the best defenders from this year. But like you said, VK, I think Darcy Byrne-Jones is just a joke of a selection. A little bit disappointing that Ridley, Maynard, Wiedering, Daniels even coming off the bench. You could probably push all them in. But I think Darcy Byrne-Jones is the only ambitious selection in that back line.
Yeah, the rest of the back line's pretty good.
Yeah. Jack, are you taking us through the centre?
The centres? Yeah, centres. Not too much to complain about. McRae, Boak and Guthrie. I think maybe Guthrie's the only one that we can all say, don't know about that one, considering, he only really had a good second half of the year. The first half of the year, he was just, same old Cam Guthrie. Doesn't do too much. But I think most people were complaining that they put Guthrie in over Meningola, who Meningola played more wing time and was a better player than Guthrie this year.
Yeah, I agree. I think,
definitely.
Yeah, Meningola definitely over Guthrie, but in saying that, Guthrie did have a very, very good year, and not taking that away from him, but I think, Meningola definitely deserved the wing spot. That's another talking point, I think. What's your viewpoint, lads, on wingmen not getting selected in their natural position?
Yeah, well, it's, every single year they do it, You'll start to think that someone like Hugh McCluggage will never make the All-Australian team because he'll play wing his entire career, and, he won't have 25 touches a week because he's playing out on the wing. But as a winger, he's by far the best wingman in the competition.
Yeah.
And it's just annoying when you got, players like Cam Guthrie and McRae on the wing who spend pretty much every single centre bounce in the middle and not at the wing. So, yeah, it's just quite annoying when you see that.
Yeah.
Definitely agree. I think I would have had McCluggage in the team for me on the wing with Meningola on the other. They got to change something with the selection process. It's not about pick the best 22 players in the AFL. It should be the best player in each position. And you go forward as well. I think maybe the forward line should have one attacking midfielder that plays a bit in the forward line as well, a Petrarca, Dusty kind of player. But the rest of it, there should be real wingers. It should be real forwards. Real players are playing the midfield. And then the bench, if there's people that just missed out in each position, that's where you put them. But sometimes people are going to miss out. Obviously, the midfielders are better than some of the forwards. but it's got to go position by position for me, and it's the same with the wing. Hugh McCluggage maybe will get robbed for the rest of his career if it doesn't change, and players like Menengola as well, and even Gaff might miss out on some opportunities to make the team where they deserve it for being the best in that position on the wing. So I think that's what should happen in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Mitch Robinson tweeted out, as I did the wing position, Cam Guthrie on the wing, 17% of centre bounces, Jack McRae, 4%.
Yeah.
So you think that's
ridiculous.
just... Yeah,
It is
doing,
ridiculous.
4%, that's pretty much once every game McRae will start on the wing. In Guthrie, that's 3 or 4 times he'll start on the wing. So, yeah, it's just stupid.
It is ridiculous. Half forwards. BK, you want to take us through that?
Jeez. Well, first of all, Dangerfield for me shouldn't have been in the team completely. I think Menengola deserved it over him as another Geelong spot, and arguably Cam Guthrie. It's pretty similar between those two players. Dixon, he was always going to make it. Very deserved season. Had a great year at Port. And Bont, come on. This is maybe I got up out of my chair and I was yelling at the TV. I couldn't believe they said Marcus Bontempelli. I couldn't believe it. He is a midfielder. He's not even a Petrarca or Dusty type player who play a little, maybe 30-70% forward.
Mm-hmm.
He should be on the bench, and an actual forward should be in the forward line. I think the Bontempelli one and the Dangerfield one is quite stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I don't have any problem with Dangerfield in there. I think Dangerfield had one of the best seasons in terms of a midfielder going forward. I think he was better than Bontempelli. But yeah, I don't think Bontempelli should have been in the team at all.
Yeah.
Which is quite annoying. Considering Dangerfield is his 8th All-Australian and the captain,
How's he the captain?
Yeah, well, it's if you look through the team as captains wise,
I'd give it a Boak if
yeah,
I was.
Boak is a vice captain. You'd think he'd be the captain.
Yeah.
Even Bontempelli, is the captain of the Bulldogs.
An actual captain.
Yeah, Dangerfield isn't the captain of Geelong, so. It's like the same. They put Franklin as captain. I don't think it has too much.
I don't think it's got that much about being named the captain. I think it's just you'd almost put it down to experience. Arguably, he's 8th time All-Australian. I think that's more than anyone in the side. So I think that warrants.
It's double.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I agree with Jacko. Actually, Dangerfield probably going forward. And looking at his stats now, he averaged 5 or 6 inside 50s. So touch disposals inside 50. So it does prove that he does go forward a little bit. Charlie Dixon, I'm sure everyone agrees with that. But Marcus Bontempelli, he had a good season, but I don't think he was one of the best midfielders going around this season. I don't think he maybe a bench spot for Jack Steele if it was in the midfield. But, yeah. Full forward. Jacko, you going through full forward?
Yeah, full forward. So, I guess not a lot to complain about. Liam Ryan, who had a really good second half of the season. Tom Hawkins, who was a lock for all Australian course winning the Common, and then Dusty, who not many people are going to complain. Dusty makes it in. So
in the team, yeah, but not forward pocket.
Yeah,
half forward. It's not. I just agree with that selection as well. He should be where Dangerfield is, and then Dangerfield not in the team for me, or where Bont is, and then Bont not in the team or on the bench. But it takes away a pick for someone like Dan Butler, who I don't understand how he is not in that forward line. Number one goals for a small forward. I think it was number one pressure acts. I have no idea how he is not in that forward line.
You'd almost, I think, in saying that, I'd take out Bontempelli, possibly move Martin up to the half forward line, and put Butler. Tom Papley
I'd
also
be happy with that. Definitely.
banging season.
Tom Papley was shocking second half of the year.
Yeah, he was shocking second half of the year, but I think he still warrants a selection.
An actual forward, yeah.
But I know. I mean, if you put Bontempelli out of the side and a forward in there, it would almost weigh out the team to make somewhat sense. I do understand, though. I think one of the selectors or someone came out and said in the media about midfielders making the side, and they said something about who. Let's be honest, everyone would much prefer an A-grade midfielder in the side than anyone else, and I think that's got some knowledge behind it. But also, then again, you're going forward. Yeah, the A-grade midfielder would probably win the ball, but you kicking the ball into the pocket, who would you want to have a snap and have that natural talent of kicking a goal from a boundary line, like Cyril Rioli versus Dangerfield or something like? Most days he'd probably take Cyril to be clinical inside the forward 50. Dangerfield, he's probably not the best kick for goal in the competition. Bontempelli does go forward. Dusty does go forward, but I think the small forwards, it's what they do for their job. They are forwards. They are AFL players, and I think they are the most talented in that spot. So I think it is a big robbery.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, the most annoying thing, I know they talk about on SEN a lot. When they talk about your Australian team, they compare it a lot to how a cricket team is structured. You're not going to have 6 opening batsmen as your 6 batsmen sort of thing. No, it just wouldn't work. They might be the 6 best batsmen in the world. They like Marcus Bontempelli is a better player than Dan Butler and has a better year than Dan Butler, but it doesn't mean he gets to go in the forward line because it just wouldn't work.
No,
just the same in cricket. You can't have 6 opening batsmen as your top 6 batsmen because it just doesn't work.
Exactly.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's a very good way to put it. The rucks, Nick Nat, Lockie Neal, Christian Petrarca. I think no one can
Nothing
argue
to
with
complain
that.
about. Yeah.
No.
Nick Nat definitely warrants the number 1 ruck spot. Lockie Neal, Brownlow, could almost guarantee it. And Christian Petrarca winning the Melbourne Best and Fairest. He's had a very good year. Ex-Whitefriars boy, of course. Good on him.
You love to see it. Is that did Mark Murphy ever make an All-Australian side?
No,
he didn't.
Because I'm thinking if that's Whitefriars' first All-Australian selection.
I think it is, yeah.
It might be, yeah.
So I was thinking if Mark Murphy won one, but obviously he hasn't now. So I reckon that's our first.
The Friars are getting out there. They've got the Sam Collins, obviously, winning the Gold Coast Best and Fairest as well. So it's going all right.
You love to see it.
Definitely.
Now the bench. Who's going through the bench, VK?
Steele, fair enough. Arguably should have started. If we're doing the midfielders on the wing, he should have been over Guthrie. Let's all be honest. Adams, fair enough. Great year for Collingwood with all their injuries. Caleb Daniel, fair enough. Arguably should have started if he's on the bench, and Bryn Jones not even in the team. And honestly, we're more upset about this than the Bontempelli pick. Max Gawn finished 6th in their Best and Fairest. 6th. I'm sorry. He is not on the interchange. Do they have a thing where they have to select a second ruckman or something? Because he cannot be in this side. There are so many other players that deserve it over Max Gawn, and I think that is absolutely ridiculous that he's in there.
Yeah, I agree. And I think definitely is so often now teams are lining up with no second ruckman in the side. They're just getting Tom Hawkins can go in the ruck, Charlie Dixon can go in the ruck. I know Western Bulldogs are trying something. They put a midfielder in the ruck to try throw off the other ruckman. So I mean, it's becoming so what's the word? Common now for teams to leave out a second ruckman. So I think Max Gawn's selection, he didn't have a great year. He was injured for most part of it. I think 20-30% of the year. So I think I agree with you, VK. An absolute ridiculous decision. Like we said, Ridley, Wiedering, Maynard, Butler, Papley, even Taberner for you, VK. I think they've all been robbed of definitely a spot on the bench at least. Yeah, Gaff as well. There's so many players that have missed out on a spot. And
McCluggage deserves it over him. I think it's crazy.
So I think Taylor Adams is also another 50-50. He definitely
Taylor Adams.
He definitely had a very, very good year, no doubt. But I don't think he warrants the selection over some of the other midfielders. I'd be taking Gaff, Meningola, I'd probably put Dan Butler in there over Adams. I think not taking away the good year that he had, but I don't think he warrants a selection on the bench.
Yeah. Well, as VK said with the Max Gawn one, the reason he finished 6th was because he was injured. It's a lot harder to poll in a best and fairest when you get, 10, 15 votes a game instead of, 1, 2, 3. So that's why he finished so low.
Shouldn't be in the
Like-
Australian team.
Yeah, well, I think if in terms of being the second ruckman, because I think that's what they've done for the
If
last
that's the
4
rule,
or
then
5 years, then it's pretty much a toss-up between him and Goldstein. So, so that's probably why Max Gorn made it. And I'm the same. I don't think Taylor Adams should have made the team. I think could have had a couple more better players as forwards, as you said before. Your Tabernar, your Papley. Even though I don't think Papley should have made it, and Butler, and even Jack Gunston, who I'd prefer in there.
Yeah.
Over Adams. So
third in the Coleman as well. I think that warrants a
Exactly.
selection.
Struggling side also.
yeah, third in the Coleman with a team who don't know how to play football is pretty good. And considering he would have finished second if he didn't give the last goal in the last 2 minutes to Ben Stratton. So
Yeah, exactly.
and it would have been his 400th goal in his career. So yeah.
I think if
Yeah.
they are choosing, like you said, Jacko, if they are choosing a second ruckman,
if
it
that's
is a
the rule,
toss-up. If it's
then
it's a toss-up between Gawn and Goldstein, but
Mhm.
I don't honestly think that a second ruckman is necessary in today's game. But
No, well, mhm.
now this is an
No.
unpopular opinion. We raised this earlier. The selection panel: Gil McLaughlin, Kevin Bartlett, Luke Darcy, Steve Hocking, Glenn Jakovic, Chris Johnson, Cameron Ling, Matthew Richardson, and Warren Treadray. Now, I know 4 of them names. Kevin Bartlett's obviously Mad Richmond. Luke Darcy's obviously Mad Bulldogs. Cameron Ling's Mad Geelong, and Matthew Richardson's Mad Richmond. I don't think either of the Richmond selectors are. I know they are both very biased, but there's only one Richmond player in the side, so that's not very fair to criticise them. But do you think that there is a bit of biased selection when it comes to the selectors choosing the side?
No. It's not bias. It's just the way they decided to pick the team.
it's just crap selection. I don't think it's I don't think it's them being biased. I think it's just the way they selected with the having to have a second ruckman, not having players in the right positions. I think it's just the structure of where they select the players, but not the actual teams that are getting the players from.
Yeah.
Mm.
Should
No,
they cut down the list, do you reckon? Like
What
that's
if
one that's 9 names of selectors. Do you reckon they should cut it down to at least 4 or 5 to narrow it down a little bit?
No, I think 9's fine. It gives lots of opinions and, I guess it makes a more fair thing. So I don't think I don't have a problem with who's on the selection panel now. There is. I just don't like the people that they've chosen.
Yeah. Good call.
If anything more for me, I think it should be even more people, more sample size, get a better generalised opinion on what the year has been and which players should make it. So if anything, it should be more than 9 for me.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah. Now we can move on to our finals predictions. Leave us down in the comments who you think should have made your All-Australian team, who you think our near misses were, who you think should deserve to make it. So, leave that in the comments. We'll move on to our finals predictions. And a lot of tough games. The first game, Port versus Geelong boys. What do you reckon is going to happen in this one?
I'm going Geelong. Wouldn't surprise me if Port do learn from their mistakes, obviously from a few weeks back where they got pumped by 62 points, I believe. But I think Geelong will be too strong and they'll win comfortably.
Yeah, I got Geelong as well. I think this one's quite tough to predict. I think a lot of the games a couple of the games in this final series are easier to pick than this one. I think this one is quite tough. But I have Geelong as well. I've been saying it throughout the whole year. They haven't been convinced on the Port Adelaide being a good finals side. I think they haven't won a finals in 5 years, I think it's been. So they need to. They need to start winning a couple of finals games sooner rather than later. But Geelong also need success as well. Seeing if Scott's 2011 premiership was just handed to him after their success in the past, or if he actually was one of the main reasons that made it happen. But I think Geelong goes through, and I think big games from Dangerfield and Hawkins as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm different to you two. I think Port Adelaide are going to win. At the Adelaide Oval, going to have the home ground advantage. I just think their hunger and their youth's going to get them over the line. So I'm tipping Port Adelaide.
Fair enough.
Should be close. Hopefully,
Yeah, I reckon that's going to be up there with game of the round. I mean, I reckon they're all.
I think it will be game of the round as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Brisbane, Richmond. Big
Jacko,
game.
what do you reckon?
Oh yeah. No Tom Lynch. Is a massive out for Richmond, probably being their third most important player. So that's massive for Brisbane. Of course, Harris Andrews pretty much confirmed to be back in. Jared Berry's also pretty much confirmed to be back in. So that's two big ins for Brisbane. And of course, Dion Prestia coming back for Richmond. He hasn't played for 5 months or so, so it'll be interesting how he goes. But of course, he's a great player. Of course, won their BNF last year. But I think Richmond will unfortunately beat us. They're just too good, too much experience. And I don't think we'll be able to win.
I think
They seem to play really well against you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, 15 games or something that you haven't beaten them. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, I see Tigers winning. I really hope Brisbane win though, Jacko. Already sick of Tigers' success. So hopefully Brisbane can get up and have a good, decent final series this year. Not go in straight sets again. Be very, very, very disappointing for them after finishing top 2 the last 2 years to lose 4 straight finals.
I've got Brisbane.
Really?
Yeah, I reckon Brisbane at the Gabba. I reckon they've been strong. I reckon Tom Lynch is a big out for them. I don't reckon Jack Rewalt can do it all on his own, to be completely honest with you. It'll be a close game, no doubt, and I think Richmond will probably take it right up to you, but I reckon Brisbane will just get over the line. You've been the stronger side all year, I think. And in finals, I think just the lack of finals experience is what's going to cost you in the end. But between the top 2 sides, I'm picking Brisbane over Port.
Yeah. Kick straight, though. If Brisbane kick straight...
I think if we kick straight, we win the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we'll be the better team. But I just don't think we'll be able to kick straight, and Richmond will be more, a bit classier and, a bit more effective inside forward 50.
Yeah. St Kilda Bulldogs.
Yeah, this is a big one.
This isn't...
I've been tossing up between this one, but I think Bulldogs' best is better than St Kilda's best, but St Kilda are a lot more consistent than the Bulldogs.
Yeah,
I've gone for the Bulldogs because I think they'll be at their best.
I reckon that's a fair call. I think either side, I reckon if they can get momentum, I reckon they can pull Bulldogs 2016. Maybe an unpopular opinion, but I reckon if either of them get momentum, they can go all the way.
I reckon Bulldogs are going to absolutely smash them. I don't know what it is, and I don't really have any reason behind it. A lot of my predictions don't really have any reasons behind it, but I think Bulldogs can win by 40 points. I think it's going to be a comfortable win for the Bulldogs in this one. I think Saints, great year and all, but I think their lack of finals experience, Bulldogs have a slightly more higher amount of finals experience. But yeah, I think their midfield, I think Bont, McRae, Dunkley, all the rest of the midfield, they're very stacked midfield. Is just going to go up against St Kilda, and I think they're going to smash them. I really do.
I've got St Kilda winning. Like you said, it will be a very, very interesting game, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see if Mitch Wallace and Aaron Norton plays.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah, they won't win if those two don't play.
No.
The Bulldogs don't have a full line.
Especially Wallace, who's been so impressive
exactly.
this year.
Wallace is their best forward. Josh Bruce, he's one of the worst forwards in the competition. So
it sucks, man. He had one good game this year, kicked 6 straight, and then the rest of the year is just gone.
Who did he kick 6 against? I can't even remember.
Jeez, I have no idea.
It was like round 2 or something, wasn't it?
What round do you reckon it was?
Round 2 or 3. I reckon it may have been St.
It wasn't against Sydney. Round 3, the versus GWS. I think AFL could just be quicker. It wasn't against GWS. It might have been round 2, actually, because that was round 3 and 4.
Yeah, oh no, it wasn't. It wasn't round 2.
No, they lost. It might have been round 5. Yeah, I think it was against North.
Oh, yeah, it was against North. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
kicked six
Because,
straight against North, yeah.
yeah, because Jed was trying to set up Robbie Tarrant's best defender in the league, and I just said Josh Briggs kicked 6 on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Interesting.
and the final game, West Coast Collingwood. And
Okay.
I think this one will be close to a blowout. I think it'll be 40 points West Coast.
I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, don't count Collingwood out, and I reckon Collingwood may cause an upset, but I think Eagles will just win very, very comfortably.
I think it'll be within a goal. I think West Coast will win by 1 point to 6 points for me. I think Collingwood are going to surprise them. I think they're going to go into it thinking, Collingwood haven't had the greatest year. I think they're going to be a little bit arrogant going into it. West Coast and Collingwood will surprise them, but in the end, West Coast will just beat them a bit like the grand final a couple of years ago. So then I think West Coast will go through and win the granny, like I've been saying all year. Come on, Eagles.
Yeah, well, I think
Eagles.
I think it is real big danger for both Port Adelaide and Geelong to go out straight sets because of I think if Collingwood do beat West Coast, then their confidence would be so high that they could be very damaging
Definitely.
in the finals.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if Collingwood win this game. I wouldn't be surprised if they made it through to a grand final.
Yeah.
I
It's all
reckon,
about this game. They've got to get it over.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon the loser of Port Geelong could go out in straight sets.
It's definitely a big possibility.
I think the only way Port and Geelong, because I think West Coast will win, I think West Coast can beat Port Adelaide, but I don't think West Coast will beat Geelong. I think Geelong will beat West Coast. So if Port lose, then
straight sets.
they could definitely go straight sets. Yeah.
There we go. Is everyone sticking with their decision on who's winning?
Yeah, I think Richmond.
West Coast have beaten Richmond in the granny for me still.
So VK's got West Coast, Jacko's got Richmond.
Mm-hmm.
And
you sticking with Geelong?
I'm sticking with Geelong.
Pretty good picks, to be honest. There's nothing crazy in those picks.
No.
Could definitely happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I reckon this is arguably the most spread out finals in a long time. I think we mentioned it last podcast, but I think anyone can win it from any position. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think nearly anyone can win it. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to episode 20 of the JLJ podcast. It was a big episode. Next episode is going to be the big JLJ Brownlow. So get excited for that. Better than the Brownlow, better than an All-Australian, better than an Norm Smith, I'd even put it up there with a better than a premiership, if I'm being completely honest.
It is better than if you win the JLJ Brownlow, you've won.
It's the most prestigious award in AFL I've heard.
Mm-hmm. That's I've pretty much confirmed. Better than an MVP. Of course, Lockie Neal won by 500 votes in the Players one.
What is the MVP? What is it?
I don't know. All I know is that it's not JLJ Brownlow.
Exactly.
It's not.
Absolutely. All right, guys, make sure you tune in next week. Make sure you like and subscribe. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud. I haven't mentioned that one in a while.
Get on the talk.
Mm-hmm.
Jacko's doing some pre-game and some post-game talks about all the finals.
Post-game, all the post-game finals game. Unless the only game it may not be is if
Brisbane lose
by Richmond. So we really won't be able to talk.
Alrighty.
Cheers, guys.
That's out.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.